Hi guys, Happy New Year everybody. Welcome back to another video. I have now rearranged. I'm kind of in the same spot where I usually, where I sit a lot, but I see there's no painting back here and some Christmas stuff. See, I have an artist friend and she was wondering if I could, well actually that one I got at a flea market, that painting right there. But I just thought I would show you, let's see, look there behind the piano. Look at that painting. Well, she has, I used to have two paintings from her, and now she's kind of changed her style a little bit. And then there's one, let's see, there's one. The light is not that great. But anyway, she asked if I could hang them for a while because lack of space, I guess, in her studio. So, and I thought since I'm showing the house now, it's nice to have some art around, and I really like her work. So that's fun. But anyway, we need to get into this video because it might be long. Shortly before Christmas, I received like a big package of samples and like, I call them sniffs because they're from a company called Sniff. Most of these, they're like 8 milliliter, like decants. So I have so many new things to try. I bet there were 100 fragrances in there. And I found myself getting, I was really excited and I thought it was fun, but like I was also feeling a little bit stressed about just owning all these fragrances and how I was going to organize them and find them. And when am I ever going to, have time to wear my own bottles? So I kind of realized also that, even if I have a channel and I want to discuss fragrances with you, I don't have enough time to sort of like get into fragrances that I'm not interested in. Like there were some of them actually I've already passed on because, for example, she sent me a mini of an alien flanker that was like super, super sweet that to me smelled like grape juice. And I just felt like I just don't want to spend time with this. It's like, it's not because if I was making money off this channel, it might be a different thing. And I knew you were super interested in alien, but like, I don't think I could give it a fair review because I don't like that style of fragrance. To me, that would be like going back in time. I might have gotten excited about that like a long time ago, but I was never really into that real sweet. It's super, super sweet. When back in the day, like when I was not a frag head, I used to wear like really perfumey fragrances, like Safari from Ralph Lauren, like that are really, feminine and floral and kind of, but not like super vanillic, fruity, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I guess what I'm getting to is that I'm not going to be giving everything a proper wearing. I just have too little skin. I have too little time. So of all these fragrances, some of these might not have come from that specific box. They're like things that I've been, trying anyway and kind of gotten back to, and I'll give you like like a second, maybe third impression because I've worn a fragrance a few times. Others, I'll kind of tell you as I go along. Some things I have just tried really briefly and decided I'm not going to get into it that much. But I do have, out of all the fragrances that I've tried, now some I've passed on already, I haven't counted them, but like I'm going to be keeping 20 because I want to either keep them because I like them or I love them, or I just feel that they're interesting enough to want to go back and try them again. So why don't I just whiz past the ones that I don't want to keep, and I'll kind of tell you as I go along. They're in this little bag here. I hope this doesn't make too much noise. Okay, one of the first fragrances that I tried was Antigua from Phaedon. And this was a kind of a real fruity type fragrance that was really weird. It kind of, it has like these fruits like guava. And I think people have said this before, that guava sometimes can give off a feeling of smelling like body odor. I didn't really get that, but I did get like, someone wrote that this smells like alcohol, like you're a 14-year-old person wanting to camouflage, your alcohol with orange juice because you think it tastes terrible, but the alcohol still keeps coming through. Someone said it smelled like Carmex with a tropical vibe. It's a weird fragrance. I didn't like this one. This one I'll be passing on. I'm not going to give that a proper wearing. When I have my notes here, I'll just tell you let's see if I wrote anything special. Yeah, Carmex with tropical fruit. Sometimes I go through Fragrantica and see the descriptions, and then I kind of sniff and see, and then sometimes people will have made like a really good description that I really feel is spot on, and I sometimes read them to you if I agree. Yeah, like alcohol in a drink, hard to camouflage with juice. I thought that was really funny, and I really, really, really agree. But loud fruit. And it has like a, it doesn't have osmanthus listed, but it has apricot. I think that's what it's coming from. I don't know. I didn't like that fragrance. It was created by Pierre Genyum. And then we've got here Levantium, which I really liked actually, but I'm still passing it on because I just have so much from Penhaligon's. It also came with a card that I've now lost, created by Christian Provenzano. It's kind of one of those oud, guaiac wood, saffron, artemisia. It has like loads of notes. It's an Middle Eastern type fragrance, a little bit masculine leaning. Not super loud. This one I like. This one I definitely would wear had I not had like super many fragrances that are sort of lean in that direction. I don't really need one more. Let's see. I still haven't been through them all. This is still kind of like, there's still a bunch left to go through. Then there's Melancolia from Liquid Imaginaire, which is a house that I'm, was interested in because I love Blanche Bette. Or I sometimes love Blanche Bette, sometimes not. But recently I have really been loving it. I've got myself a decant, and I really, really have been enjoying wearing that. So this was created by Amélie Bourgeois. And she has also, let's see, was she the one? No, she has not made Blanche Bette. Sorry, she's made Sin and Pleasure, something that I'm a little bit intrigued by from Born to Stand Out recently. She's also made Rouge Smoking from BDK and Rouge Assassin from Javoy, which I really liked when I tried it this last summer and I went through a sample. So I kind of like, when I see a perfumer that I like, it's kind of like when I see a brand I like, I'm kind of like more curious, and I feel like I'm really interested, and I was really interested in this one, but it is really odd. For me, it's a clash of notes. It has like mint and lemongrass, and then it has like cardamom, ginger, bay leaf, musk, and suede. It's just too weird for me. Let's see, I don't like it. Maybe if they'd taken the sweet notes out, it might work. I'm not sure if it's the cardamom that it's like sweet with mint and lemon. It just didn't work for me. I don't know. That's a pass for me. This one I actually like. This is called Orquídea Negra, and it's from the house of, let's see, what is this called? Orquídea Negra is, I think this might be discontinued like long ago, and it reminds me, I'm going to find the house in a minute here, I couldn't think of it like all day. This one I wore because I put it on and I kind of liked it so much that I wanted to wear it more. And then I realized what it reminded me of, and it's Precious Oud from, my friend actually helped me kind of like circle it in, or identify it as Precious Oud from Van Cleef & Arpels, which is also really similar to the long dry down of Tom Ford's Black Orchid. Yeah, so this is a Daniel Josier fragrance. Josier, I guess it's I think it's a French guy. Josier, that's how it's spelled. Josier. It's described as a floral, fruity gourmand for women. I'm surprised it's marketed towards women, but it has truffle and black currant in the top, kind of odd notes. And then it has like dark chocolate, vanilla, incense, patchouli. So it has kind of like, yeah, it reminds me a lot of Precious Oud, but this is much stronger and louder because Precious Oud is really light. I ended up getting rid of it because I just never wore it. But I still I liked wearing this. And I was thinking, it's kind of on the border, like for me to want to keep it. But since I never wore Precious Oud, and it felt like going back in time to the time where I was just getting into niche, where I had like 5 bottles from Van Cleef & Arpels, and I just decided, I know that's considered designer, or it's I don't know, I consider it niche because it's kind of sold in a niche kind of way, like where they highlight a few keynotes and not like just call it, something. But this is really good though. I actually really like it. Dark chocolate, incense, or woodsy notes, fruity notes. And Daniel Josier is the same perfumer. He also made another fragrance that I really like called Kisses Rain from Renier Perfumes, which I can really, really recommend. Okay, let's see. Here's one that I really didn't like. I'll whiz past this. Oud Imperial from Perris Monte Carlo. This is the Extrait de Parfum. It's super, super loud and animalic and just, it's non-wearable to me. It was so strong and it just, I really, really didn't like that one. I'm not going to, okay, I'm going to show you a few that I'm just kind of not really even going to spend any time with. And that were these kind of marshmallow type fragrances. One is called Marshmallow from More, M-O-R. I just got, I took one whiff. I think I did spray this just one time. I don't know, I don't need more of this kind of fragrances. I will get to one, though, that I am keeping that's kind of a marshmallow-like fragrance, but this was just too much. And there was one more of those. Oh, yeah, from Mancera, Coco Vanille. It's kind of the same type. I'm just not interested. So that one's going to be passed on. I mean, some of these, there's so little. There's like for 1 or 2 wearings. But for a frag head, it could be really fun because there's enough to kind of try it, I think. And then there were a bunch from, I have 4 from the X line from Nishane, Wulong Cha, Fan Your Flames, 100 Silent Ways, and Hacivat, the X versions, which I will not be keeping, but I did really like 100 Silent Ways, and I do also like 100 Silent Ways, the original, but not enough to buy a bottle. I think they're very it's kind of like a designery black opium type fragrance, but better, much lighter. It's not as sweet, but like I really liked this. Fan Your Flames is like a tobacco fragrance that has coconut. It's a weird, it's boozy, it's tobacco-ish. I don't want to spend more time with it. And then there's Wulong Cha, which is a really nice tea fragrance, if you're into tea fragrances, which I am not. I mean, in general, I do have a fragrance in the keepers that is a tea fragrance that I'm going to keep, but no, I will not keep those. Let's see. Oh, that was the 100 Silent Ways. I just lost the box. Speaking of tea fragrances, there's another one here called, let's see, Oolang Infini from Atelier Cologne. Just really boring. It was a tea fragrance, like maybe have some cedar wood in it, perhaps. I used it up. I used it twice, actually. It's nice, but it's like I would never, ever spend money on a fragrance like that. Neither would I spend money on, let's see, tea. Did I have it in here? Tea tonic. Let's see. I have a tea tonic here somewhere. I don't know. No, I guess maybe I put it in the wrong, I put it in the wrong thing, maybe. Anyway, tea tonic from Miller Harris. I just couldn't get excited about it. I don't want to spend more time with it. Then there's Floris Cherry Blossom, kind of a shampoo-like, beautiful fragrance that doesn't interest me much. That one I'll pass on. There's one from Annick Gottal called Gottal now, called Songs, but it's spelled with an E between the G and the S. Song, it's probably French spelling. And this is a really, really naturalistic floral fragrance. It's like putting your nose like in the, like, I don't know what it's called, pastils in Swedish, right in the middle of the flower, and just getting that really strong, concentrated, sweet floral smell, or like something from a flower shop. It's super, super floral, super high quality to my nose, but I just don't find it very interesting. I never reach for fragrances like this. There has to be something more in there. Let's see what else. Cherry Blossom I talked about, and then there's one called Nothing But Sea and Sky from Une Nuit Nomade. I think it's like a musk with a little bit of a breezy kind of feel to it. Let's see what I wrote about this one. I don't think I took many notes on this. It has bergamot, sandalwood, and white musk. It's just, I don't know. I don't want to spend more time with that one either. Let's see, but this will make someone happy. This package, I'll send it on maybe like as a package for someone in the group, my Facebook groups. Okay, and then we've got Cardinal from Heeley, which I really have wanted to give a proper wearing, but I realize it's kind of a basic incense with black pepper, and this style of perfume, it's just not for me. It doesn't excite me at all, so I'm just not gonna. I have worn that, but it's a little bit on the cold side, but in a refreshing kind of way. But I do prefer, like, Serge Lutens has one called something like Dans le Bleu Petit, something like a church in the sea, that I really like because it's really refreshing and it has kind of an incensey vibe yet fresh. But that one, I don't know. No, this one I was on the fence about. This is called Writer, and it's from Genyum. And Genyum, this line, that all the fragrances have names of like different occupations, but they're all kind of in the cultural field. Like one is called musician, tattoo artist. One is called sculptor. One is called painter, I think. And I kind of like that idea. And writer, I think this might interest my friend Clara because she likes incense, and this is an incensey, bitter let's see, I just tried this on this morning, but I've also tried it once before. Okay, so the notes are mate. It's kind of like a bitterish tea kind of note. Jasmine, thyme, olibanum, and rose. Okay, so this was, it interested me for two reasons. I kind of like the concept of a writer, but I also saw that Louise Turner had made this, and Louise Turner is the person behind Blanche Bette. And she has also made Love Chloe, and she has made Possibilities from La Perla, or Perla. I don't know what they're called. Those are considered to be a little bit similar. Blanche Bette and Possibilities. Okay, so this is like, I was really enjoying the dry down, even though it was a little bit on the bitter side, because you could kind of feel there's a little bit of rose, not too rosy, the olibanum, and then the jasmine was like a little bit in there, but not a lot. It's definitely not a people pleaser, but I did find it interesting. Oh, I've written that I will keep it. Oh, then I changed my mind again. Actually, I changed my mind again. And I'm just facing the fact I don't want to own so much. It stresses me out to have all this stuff, and I don't think I'll reach for it. And I think it really will. I think Clara will like this, or somebody else in my group. I mean, I liked it. It had also had some thyme. Let's see, yeah, thyme, olibanum, not sweet at all. I did enjoy wearing it, but I'm just not super excited about wearing it again. Then there's one called Don't Ask Me Permission from Simone Andreoli. And this is many people say this is a dupe of Erba Pura, which I did have a mini of. Like, oh, the mini Serge offs are so darn cute. They're like 15 mils, and they have the exact same shape as the bigger bottles. So cute. But I had to get rid of it. It was just so hard to wear, Erba Pura. That's so loud, and there's something in there that just won't go away. It's like terribly screeching. This one I find much easier wear. And I know that Simone Andreoli has made another fragrance called like Rose of Dangerous Flamenco or something that's kind of a little bit like Oud Bouquet, but much easier to wear. So this is a little bit of a dupe. Maybe this is a little bit of a dupe house. I don't know. This one has ambergris. It has liquor, but then it has all these florals. Let's see. It's fruity. It has some florals, heliotrope, and ylang ylang, but it has like sugar, lime, sweet orange, passion fruit. It's a fruity, floral, kind of oriental style fragrance. Don't ask me permission. I like the names. Someone else can enjoy that. I'm not going to go back to that. Then there's Une Rose from Frederic Malle. Too much rose for me, but it was a nice fragrance. I think Quentin Biche made this. Let me see. I was surprised to see that it was a fragrance that I still kind of liked, but not enough to like, let me see. No, I got that wrong. Sorry, that wasn't him. Edouard Flechier, I've never heard of. But this is nice. Rose, it's called, they changed the name. It's now called Rose Tonnerre. Tonnerre. And it's kind of a red wine kind of fragrance. Like a spiced wine, like a mulled wine. I don't know. It has honey. No, I didn't love it. I didn't love it. It was nice. It was nice, but it wasn't a love. And then there was Superstitious. I don't know what happened to it. Here it is. Okay, from the master perfumer Dominique Ropion. Let me see. I wrote Floral Woody. This was nothing special. Didn't excite me. Pass that on. I like the name though, Superstitious. But anyway, that's not enough for me to keep something. Then I have L'Immensité from Louis Vuitton, which is a really like an attractive. If I could just close my eyes and picture something, I see an attractive man in front of me. Like it smells like a good-looking guy. I would love to smell this on a man, but I'm not going to spend any time with it. It's just not my style of fragrance. It's kind of a classic men's cologne type, very masculine. Oh God, this was horrible. This is Beaver from Zoologist. I don't even know if I took the notes on this one. It was just, I think I didn't. It was just really, I don't like it at all. It has something in common with like Dodo, the older version, the one that they had to discontinue because everybody hated it. And this one smells a little bit like cockatiel. If you guys know that fragrance, it's just bad. Oh, terrible. Beaver from Zoologist. Then I got Citizen Queen from, I think it's from Juliette Has a Gun, which I really did like, but I think this is discontinued. It's an old fragrance from the house, so I think it would be really hard to find, and it would not be worth it to me to try to find it. But it was nice. I'm trying to find my notes here. I should have, of course, put them in some kind of order and written a list to make it easier to make this video. But it was just too much. I just couldn't organize it. It was just, oh, it's stressed. That's why I need to make this video and just kind of move on from this. But I can tell you a little bit about it. It's kind of a powdery Chanel type fragrance. A little, like, a little makeup-y. It's just, I only have this little, I don't even have a spray. It's just a few drops. It might interest somebody else. And then there's one called, from 8th Art, called Naive Iris. Naive Iris. It's a real good basic iris, but nothing I would write home about and get excited about. I mean, it does remind a little bit of like Iris Iris de Champs that I have from Aubigon. The French house Aubigon. I really like that. I wore that now not too long ago and got a compliment for it. That's a good basic iris. Then I've got here Le Maroc pour Elle from Tower Perfumes, which I felt was, what did I write about this one? This is nice. This is nice, and definitely it has the Tower DNA. I just felt like, I think I decided to pass this on because here it is. Okay, first thing I thought, well, let me see, that was not it. Here it is. It's a lavender, it's kind of a, it's a strong jasmine floral with incense. I don't know, it's like super, super oily, and there's like just a drop left, so I'm not sure I can, describe this. I can't give it justice. Something might have happened to it, It's really, really concentrated jasmine. I mean, I think it's probably a nice fragrance. It smells like a tower for sure. Then I've got Chemise Blanche, which smells like, it says it's inspired by sandy beaches, but I get nothing beachy from this. And it's an extrait, and it does not come off as an extrait at all. It's from LM Perfumes, Laurent Mazzoni Perfumes. I guess he's Italian. It sounds very Italian. I guess this is a fragrance. This was a collab between Jerome Epinette and Richard Ibanez, which I have never heard of. But it's not very unique, but it's pleasant. Yeah, there were, when you really can tell that something's not very unique, it's when there's like at least 20 under the reminds me of section, on Fragrantica. And this one had so many like reminds me of. So, I mean, this is what someone wrote that I agreed with. It is a starchy version of Chanel No. 5, Au Premiere. Subtle, nice, and clean. To me, it's kind of marketed like a men's fragrance. And Chanel No. 5, Au Premiere, I find more feminine leaning. I'm not sure. I think this maybe is kind of like Au Premiere. It's a clean, nice fragrance with some aldehydes and iris and lily of the valley. Very soft and powdery. I definitely, would wear it but I don't need it. So, God, I still have a lot. Okay, here comes one of the worst fragrances in the whole bunch. Wait until you hear about this one. I've tried this in store before, but I've never given it a proper wearing. This is almost as bad as Sécrétion Magnifique. And it's called Fantomas from Nasomato. This is like rubbery. It is, let me see, I did take some notes on this to kind of remember. But this is interesting to try because it's so weird. This is a weird fragrance. Okay, what I wrote was melon, rubber, plastic, sweet notes, smoke, gunpowder. I think actually these are notes I'm reading. Yeah, these are the notes. Caramel, earthy notes, tropical fruit, cashmeron, patchouli. I just wrote, I had to scrub this. This is a Gaultieri fragrance. It came out in 2020. I remember when this came out. I was into fragrance then. It's really horrible. It's like not even a fragrance. It's not a perfume to me. Okay, so then there's one called, I've given this one away already, but it was called Peonia Nobile from Acqua di Parma from Francois Demachy, who I think wasn't he the one that was Dior's perfumer after that? I think so, Demachy. The one that quit, and they replaced him with, am I remembering wrong now? They replaced him with Francis Kirkjohn, I think. I think that's him. I'm not sure. But this is kind of like a peony fragrance with, it doesn't speak to me. It's too designery. I just found it boring. It's like raspberry, rose, peony, etc. just boring. And then there's a Laura Mercier called Lumière d'Ambre. And I'm ready with Laura Mercier. Her fragrances, they're just too sweet. I had a bunch of them. I had like 2 of them or 3 of them, and I got rid of them all. They were unwearably sweet to me, and they are like baking. Well, I mean, I used to have Amber Passion. That was pretty good, actually. And this one is considered, I think, to be quite similar. So if you're into amber, and you might be worth checking that one out. And then I have Fleur d'Oranger from Fragonard. I've just realized Fragonard is too cheap. It smells cheap to me. Not to mix it up with Molinard, which I do like the fragrances from. I'll get to that. I have a keeper in there. I think I might divide this video into 2 different ones. This is going to be the one with the ones that I'm rejecting or passing on, or that I, maybe liked but don't love, and the ones that I didn't like. And then I'm gonna make a video after this with all the keepers. That's what I'm gonna do, because it's just gonna get too long. And then there's Iris 39 from Le Labo. It's just not good. I don't like it at all. It's a cold, earthy kind of. There might be a little boozy, like an alcoholic touch in there too. I just don't like it. Then there's one called here. What is the brand of this? MB03. Oh, it's this German brand. And it's called, let's see, I've got to try to say this in German. MB03. It's called Biehl Parfumkunstwerke from 2007, created by Mark Buxton. Don't know much about him, but I kind of have an association that he was like maybe bigger a few decades ago, perhaps. And this gets compared to Avignon from Comme des Garçons. It's a creamy incense, and I actually did kind of, I wrote it was a little too smoky for me, but I did kind of like it. It's like a creamy, now I used it up. I mean, there was just a speck in there, and it smells really good from the atomizer here. It's a creamy incense. It's just maybe a little bit too much incense for me. I wouldn't wear it. I'm not there yet. Incense is okay, but it needs to be wrapped up more. This one was pretty well wrapped up in other notes, but I still think that that was the bag. Eclipse I tried from a brand with only 1 perfume called, the house is called Hardwell. It's just a masculine, basic man's cologne. Not going to spend time with that. I've got Monsieur from Frederic Malle, which is too heavy. This patchouli is too heavy and masculine for me. It's a little bit basement-like. No, I don't like it. Don't like it so much. Oh, here was the Tea Tonic from Miller Harris. That one is a pass. I mean, it's a nice fragrance, but I'm just not going to spend time with it. I don't like these decants, by the way, because you can't, I want there to be a top. So when you take off the top, there's still some smell left, and you can just kind of sniff whatever, the dry down pretty well. But here you can't. You got to respray every time. Okay, and then I have 2 more, and then that's it. There's Amber Flash from Towerville, which is a line from Andy Tower. And it kind of sounds like this Amber Flash, like it would be some light amber. It is not. It is a classic resinous amber with, it's quite earthy. I just tried this just a couple hours ago. Just a little, I'm really bored with ambers right now, so I might not be giving it a good, I mean, it's labdanum heavy. Let's see. It's quite animalic, especially in the opening, like super animalic. And that kind of dries down. It's really deep and resin. It's a classic amber, but it's more earthy and more animalic. So if that's your kind of thing, I think this is really good quality. It's not beast mode, but I would guess it has super good performance. But I put it on before my shower, and I scrubbed it off, and I just had a little tiny drop on me. I'm really bored with ambers. I don't know. It's just, to me, they're all the same. That's the way I feel about them right now. But this is a kind of amberish leaning fragrance that did kind of intrigue me a little bit. You guys know that I don't like, those of you who follow me know I don't like Byredo, although I'm Swedish. 1996 is, here I was on the fence. I was intrigued. I was interested. This is like a very heavy patchouli. Let's see. God, what is this? I have to check my notes on this one, because this one kind of goes through phases. Let's see. I just tried this. I think it was like yesterday or the day before. Oh, I think it's the juniper berry that kills it for me. Yeah, the first thing I said after 5 seconds, oh, an amber. It's just an amber, and I'm really bored with amber. But it is not just an amber. Okay, so this one was, actually the full name is called 1996, Ines and Vinude. So there were these 2 Dutch photographers that created a photo together, and then they made a fragrance, or somebody made a fragrance. based on this photo. I'm not sure if these guys are the perfumers as well. I'm not sure. But this came out in 2013, and I know this is much spoken about, so I was really happy to be able to try this. And I might actually, it's so little left, no one else could even try that. Maybe I will, maybe I'll put this in the keepers, actually, just because I want to go back to it. But then what happens after the first 5 seconds? Then come weird and semi-unpleasant notes. I've written appear, yeah, and spices perhaps that are not listed. It does have iris and violet in the mid, but they kind of get drowned out by the really heavy patchouli and leather and amber, and then there's a little vanilla that makes it digestible. I think the vanilla makes it like that I'm even considering, you know, wearing this again. And then you can feel the leather coming through. And yeah, I wrote that it drowned. I can't really feel the iris and violet because it's such a heavy leather and patchouli fragrance. But I know people that like this. I've heard YouTubers, the guy that calls himself like Ouch 110. I can't remember his name. He was going on and on about this, how he likes it. I mean, at least it's interesting. I mean, a lot of the Byredo fragrances are just like non-interesting, but this was kind of like, yeah, you know, maybe I just want to challenge. And if I want to challenge, I'd put on something like this and just sit by myself. And I would never put it on to go out. And I am going to dance tonight. And I would never wear something like this. Okay, I'll be back in a video shortly, and I will have better news for you in that one. Okay, guys.